I don't think we can talk about the stresses journalists face without talking about the unique role journalists have. First responders are given certain resources and supports because they're recognized as first responders. And the hundreds of journalists that I talk to tell me they're first responders too. Much like the first responders are running to the scene, journalists are running to the scene while everybody's running away from a scene. I'm Rebecca Palpant Shimkets, and I'm an associate director in the mental health program here at the Carter Center, and I oversee the Rosalind Carter Fellowships for Mental Health Journalism. If you're a journalist covering conflict, covering violent crimes, covering breaking news, it's important to develop a plan now, ahead of time. And part of that plan would be figuring out 2 or 3 key colleagues. It might be your editor, it might be another journalist in your newsroom, it could even be another journalist in an area that's not related to your work, who you know you could go to at any time to just decompress and talk about what's going on. But even more importantly, they're in the seat to call you and see how you're doing, and that's part of their job. Building, in the mental health world, we call it a social fabric around yourself, is key to resilience and mental wellness. We're not getting, 1, enough sleep, but 2, quality sleep. So creating an environment where you're getting the sleep that you need. Look at your work environment too. Really important. Is it fostering wellness for you? Some things I've done in the last year, and they're just little things. You don't have to make drastic changes, but small incremental improvements can have a dramatic difference over time. Get a standing desk. We're leaning over computers constantly. Taking time, 5-10 minutes, to just walk around in an hour is really important to do. Take your calls, on your headset on a walk instead of sitting over your computer, so that you're changing your visuals, you're changing your body, all really important for mental wellness. If you're really feeling burned out, I think there's a couple of things you can do as a journalist. It's important to assess whether you're getting in the danger zone in terms of bordering on having some mental illness symptoms. Some things to watch out for are, how's your sleep? Are you getting the rest that you need, or is it disturbed? Are you starting to isolate? You're not going out with friends, you're not connecting with family members, but get connected with colleagues and people you care about. The mind and the body are connected. A lot of people in mental health laugh and say, recently we've discovered the neck. The head is connected to the body. So get moving, exercise, diet, just like I said, sleep, all very important for your mental health as well. Key things to look for in your employees, if you're an editor, or in your colleagues: fits of crying. That can be a sign of depression. Also, inability to concentrate, loss of productivity, lack of quality sleep. And one that I really look for often is, are they just not interested in doing the things they used to do? When everybody's going out for a drink after work, are they going home? Are they isolating? When they used to really enjoy being with a group. Those are some really important things to watch for. Also, obsession with death, obsession with really, dark images. Those kinds of things are even more important to pay attention to, because it might be leading to deeper forms of depression that can be dangerous. I could tick off a list of several things that I think bosses should do and employers should create in the environments at work, but I'm going to highlight the number 1 point first, and that is model the behavior you're looking for. It's so easy to tell our employees to do one thing, but then not do it ourselves. So a great example to me is, as an editor, if you're up emailing at 2, 3 in the morning, that's modeling for your employees that this is what you expect of them as well. You need to rethink that, because you're modeling something that maybe isn't necessarily healthy. Are you going to have, over the long term, are you going to have employees that are responsive, fresh, productive, full of ideas, and able to work at their top form? Or will they be the opposite of what you're looking for? So modeling that behavior is important. 1 in 4 Americans will experience a diagnosable mental illness this year. The vast majority of those illnesses are depression and anxiety disorders. And one thing we really know there are a lot of things that are effective in treating those illnesses. In fact, they're very treatable. The problem is most people don't access those treatments. But cognitive behavioral therapy can be enormously helpful in treating depression and anxiety disorders. The literature is growing on the effectiveness of mindfulness in terms of becoming more centered, dealing with panic, dealing with trauma. And that is really about learning breathing techniques, learning how to be in the present moment. So much of our world in this 24/7 inundation of information is always about the next thing. And if we can slow it down and focus on the moment, focus on our breath, can help get us more centered. It's important to have healthy employees that are mentally well and physically well, but the benefit of that is there's a cost benefit. They're more productive, companies are more profitable, and you have better, more creative ideas flowing. For some reason in our society, we're okay if your body becomes ill. It's not a problem to go and seek help. People have chronic conditions for which they need treatment, possibly for the rest of their lives. Diabetes is an example of that. But for some reason, we're not okay with one of the most important aspects of our body, the brain, being treated. The good news is I think that's changing. More and more people are having the courage to come out and talk about their own experience with mental illness and that they've recovered from the illness. And the more we can have conversations that recovery works and that this isn't something to be afraid of, that treatment can be effective, it changes the conversation. And as the fear goes away, more and more people will access the care they need.